At Sierra, discover top workout gear at incredible prices, which might lead to another discovery. Your headphones haven't been connected this whole time. Awkward. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
This is Optimal Health Daily, The Great Sugar Debate by Nancy Clark of nancyclarkrd.com. And I'm Dr. Neil, your very own personal host and narrator. Welcome back to Optimal Health Daily, where I read to you from some of the most popular health and fitness blogs out there, with permission from the websites, and always with a bit of my commentary at the end. And with that, let's get right to today's post as we optimize your life. The Great Sugar Debate by Nancy Clark of nancyclarkrd.com. Sugar is a total waste of calories. I don't touch the stuff. I have such a sweet tooth. My day is grim without some sugar in it. Before I compete, I eat a spoonful of honey to boost my energy. If you're like many athletes, you are confused about the role of sugar in your daily sports diet. The anti-sugar media reports sugar is health erosive, yet sports nutrition researchers claim sugar is performance enhancing. That might leave you wondering, should I eat sugar or avoid it? To address this conflict, I've summarized a sugar debate published in the Journal of Progressive Cardiovascular Disease. The article, critique, and editorial do a good job of examining the question, have the ill effects of those seemingly toxic white crystals in your diet been overemphasized? Here is some information to help you better understand the two sides to the sugar wars debate. Side 1. Sugar is evil. 1. Sugar is not an essential nutrient. Our bodies can make sugar or glucose from the dietary fat and protein that we eat, or by breaking down our body's muscle and adipose tissue. 2. The average American eats about 100 pounds of sugar per year. That's 2 pounds a week and contributes abundant empty calories. 3. Populations with a high intake of added sugars tend to have health issues. Reducing added sugar to less than 10% of total calories reduces risk of overweight, obesity, and tooth decay. 4. Dietary sugar drives up blood sugar. Routinely consuming 150 sugar calories each day, about 1 can of soda, increases the risk of developing diabetes by 1%. Much of this sugar is hidden in packaged foods. 5. Metabolizing added sugar with no nutritional value requires vitamins and minerals. With very high sugar consumption and low intake of other nourishing foods, one could become nutrient depleted. And 6. Trading empty sugar calories for nutrient-rich calories is a no-brainer. Limiting sugar intake does not harm anyone. Next debate, sugar is okay for people who are fit. 1. Sugar consumption increased from less than 10 pounds per person per year in the late 1800s to about 100 pounds per person per year by World War II. Consumption remained relatively flat until 1980. Our health also improved between 1880 and 1980. So is it fair to say that the increase in sugar hurt our health? 2. Sugar and starch, which is a string of sugar molecules linked together, is in breast milk, dairy foods, fruit, honey, potato, wheat, corn, quinoa, and all grains. People around the globe have consumed these carbs for years. So why now do sugar and starch suddenly become responsible for creating human obesity and diseases? 3. The fear-mongering terms of unhealthy, toxic, and poisonous are simply unscientific. Those who lack knowledge about physiology accept this disease-mongering anti-sugar rhetoric, but the fact is, no one food is healthy or unhealthy. 4. Our present state of poor health is not because our diets are unhealthy or that we consume sugar, but because we are physically inactive. Low levels of physical activity reduce our ability to metabolize sugar optimally, and that explains the true cause of obesity and metabolic diseases. 5. In terms of diabetes, blood sugar, not dietary sugar, matters. The rise in blood sugar that occurs after eating is not pathological, but rather the failure of the muscles and liver to take up the sugar. That is, it's not what you eat, but what your body does with what you eat. 6. Physical activity affects appetite and energy intake. If we are too inactive and live a sedentary lifestyle, energy intake gets disassociated from energy expenditure. we can easily eat more calories than we burn. Lack of physical activity negatively impacts metabolic health. And 7, a maternal effect impacts both pre- and postnatal development. Children of inactive mothers are born increasingly predisposed to inherited childhood obesity and type 2 diabetes. This increases with each passing generation. Concluding comments. Lack of physical activity, more so than sugar, is the greater threat to our health. Given that so many are overfat and underfit, a diet low in sugars and starches is likely a good idea for them. But for sports active, fit people who are at a lower risk for heart disease, diabetes, and obesity, sugar and carbs are not toxic, but rather a helpful way to enhance athletic performance. The one-size diet does not fit all. No one is suggesting that athletes should eat more sugar, but rather understand that as an athlete, you can embrace a sports diet that includes an appropriate balance of carbohydrate, including sugars and starches, in each meal. Strive for a healthy eating pattern that includes 85 to 90% quality foods and 10 to 15% whatever. Some days, whatever might be an apple. Other days, it might be a slice of apple pie. If you are fearful sugar will harm your health, note that fear-mongering relies on cherry-picked scientific information that can prove what the messenger wants to prove. Fear-mongering messengers have created a general distrust of big food and have shaped opinions that support raw foods, superfoods, whole foods, organic foods, and clean eating. While a plant-based diet based on unprocessed foods with no added sugar is ideal, I commonly see athletes who take the advice to the extreme and eat too clean, which may be a sign of orthorexia. So that's not healthy either. My suggestion, enjoy a balanced variety of foods in moderation. The United States Dietary Guidelines recommend limiting added sugar to less than 10% of your total calories each day, which would be no more than 250 added sugar calories per day for an active person who might require about 2,500 calories a day. Enjoying a daily small sweet seems better than routinely cheating with sugar binges. Doesn't the age-old advice to enjoy a balanced variety of foods with a sprinkling of sugar if desired seem like a reasonable goal? You just listened to the post titled The Great Sugar Debate by Nancy Clark of nancyclarkrd.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it filters out incompatible applicants. So when you're hiring, the process is much faster, and you only have to consider applicants that are already likely to be a great fit. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/health. Just go to Indeed.com/health right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/health. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Oh, it's such a clutch off-season pickup, Dave.
I was worried we'd bring back the same team.
I meant those blackout motorized shades.
Blinds.com made it crazy affordable to replace our old blinds.
Hard to install?
No, it's easy. I installed these and then got some for my mom. She talked to a design consultant for free and scheduled a professional measure and install.
Hall of Fame son.
They're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings in the world.
Blinds.com is the GOAT.
Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 40% off select styles. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Dr. Neal here for my commentary. Going back to the U.S. dietary recommendations for added sugar intake, as today's author Nancy mentioned, the recommendations are to consume no more than 10% of our daily calories from added sugar each day. Remember, this is added sugar, so this doesn't include natural sugars like those found in, let's say, fruit. Nancy did the math for us and gave us the example of someone that eats 2,500 calories a day. They would be allowed 250 calories from added sugars each day then. Now, if we were to think about this in terms of foods, what might that look like? Well, one 12-ounce can of soda, like Coke or Pepsi, has about 140 calories of basically all added sugar. In fact, if you look at the amount of calories in one 12-ounce can of soda, you'll see it's about 140 calories. That means, again, pretty much all of the calories come from added sugar. So, someone that consumes 2,500 calories a day would be allowed 250 calories from added sugar a day. One can of soda gets them more than halfway there. So, depending on the foods we choose, we can quickly get to that upper limit recommended by the U.S. dietary guidelines for added sugar. But if we consume a mostly whole, less processed food diet, we probably won't get to that upper limit. At least, not as quickly. All right, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for listening and being a subscriber or follower of the show. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.